Hey guys, today it seems like we're getting a second time of a strong bid for Chinese big tech at least. So as I've mentioned yesterday, this may have to do with the macro policy regarding the Fed tightening and on the other hand China easing their monetary policy, and so we're seeing that Alibaba is jumping big, so this may also have to do with manga doubling down on Alibaba. So second day in a row we're getting a big fat green there, and then also Baidu and Jingdong and some other Chinese names are getting some traction here. We'll have to see whether or not this can actually also go into some of the smaller caps and the more volatile growth stocks, which should rather be affected by the trouble of growth stocks in the US market. So it's not sure yet whether this is a start of an actual rotation back into Chinese names, but it seems like the mega caps are certainly getting some traction here for now. We'll have to see if some more green days follow up here, and then if it's spreading the breadth into those smaller names and smaller to mid caps as well. Meanwhile, in this video I want to talk about NIO and a potential venturing into the area of electricity market in Europe, because yesterday I posted this in the Patreon community, a LinkedIn job offering by NIO for electricity market strategy and planning manager. So this is for the NIO Munich area and part of some other job postings by NIO here that has been done. And what strikes me here is that this is not about the power network and strategic partnership development or the power network planning, so the layout of the battery swap stations as well as the supercharging network in Europe. No, this is explicitly for the electricity market. And I've mentioned before that Miriam and I had the chance to speak to the GM of NIO in Europe, being part of a panel that Miriam actually moderated, where we gotten the insight and information that NIO is looking to partner on the European side with energy companies, maybe mostly for the placement of the battery swap stations, such as we now have the official news about the partnership between NIO and Shell, which I think is rather on the global rollout side than actually, of course, about the China side, where they have partnered with Sinopec. But I think what could also here be in the cards is actually a more deepening cooperation with some of the energy businesses in Europe. For example, energy providers like Yellow or E.ON or others that may have an interest not only being part of the infrastructure rollout there, but maybe using the battery swap stations as a way of balancing the grid. So in Germany, we had just the news that Germany was shutting off nuclear power plants in order to go fully renewable in the long run. Some, like Elon Musk, would argue that this is a mistake and nuclear power should actually be part of a clean mix. And so the challenge for the European grid or the German grid here would be the balancing of those fluctuations in electricity, in terms of the wind is only blowing at certain times, the sun is not out all of the time. And so at this point, of course, something like battery swap stations may come in handy, so that during the day batteries can soak up some of the unused power and then deploy it into the network, into the grid during the night when people are using power, for example, for turning on some washing machines or whatever in their houses, and where actually the power is also cheaper, and then maybe also using the cheaper rates in order to charging the batteries again until they get swapped into the new cars in the morning and used during the day. So this is possibly an application case for NIO, which it's interesting to see that I haven't seen anything like that so far in China. I mean, it was always the case kind of that NIO could do something with those battery swap stations, but at least I haven't observed anything yet that was really unveiled or shown as a product there on this side. Maybe also the China side is a little bit less transparent in terms of how the energy is being purchased and what role the battery swap stations are playing into the grid. However, I also saw like that the manager of NIO Venture Capital was actually also mentioning in one interview that they are looking very much into such kind of investments in this area. So I think with those indicators here, it might be an interesting move because I think it could help, certainly help NIO to strengthen their market entry in Europe. And I think those kind of energy companies are actually looking to really innovate their business models, looking for new partnerings. They may have not the best access to some of these EV companies, and so with NIO being already working with Shell and Sinopec and having this new kind of brand image there, I would say that this is a strong potential partner there for some of the German companies in order to partner up and maybe see what they can do here in terms of working on the infrastructure side of things. I will actually also make another video about the potential layout of battery swap stations in Europe, because I think it will certainly be way different to what it looks in China because of the different landscape and also different use cases that I'm seeing. But that's just my quick commentary on this news that I found here. So this is just an indicator at this point in time, but I think it's certainly exciting because this is obviously a huge new business field in which NIO could naturally find its way in and then obviously generate revenue streams, branding effects, as well as partnerships. And so that should be good. I should certainly help for NIO to enter the market and also strengthen the case of battery swap stations, I think, not only in China but also in Europe then. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What could be a potential application cases? Do you think it's likely or not that NIO will be partnering with some of the grid providers in Germany or Europe? And then thank you guys for watching, and let's watch those Chinese tech stock bounce hopefully, and see you in the next one.